For years, George Clooney seemed untouchable. A man who had everything: fame, charm, purpose, and the woman who made him believe in forever. But behind the photographs of elegance and laughter, something darker began to grow. The man once adored for his humor and warmth began showing cracks that only those closest to him could see. When he finally opened up about what had gone wrong, the truth wasn't glamorous. It was heartbreaking. For decades, Clooney was Hollywood's eternal bachelor, a man who swore he'd never marry again after his brief and painful marriage to actress Talia Balsam in the early 1990s. He joked about it often, saying he just wasn't good at marriage. While his friends settled down, Clooney poured himself into films, activism, and late-night adventures. To the public, he seemed perfectly content in his independence. But privately, there was always a quiet loneliness, the kind fame could never fix. Then, in 2013, everything changed. At his villa on Lake Como, a mutual friend introduced him to Amal Alamuddin, a brilliant human rights lawyer from Oxford and New York University. She wasn't dazzled by Hollywood, nor drawn to the spotlight. George later said that when she walked into his home, something shifted. Their romance unfolded quickly, and by April 2014, Clooney was on one knee in his kitchen, nervously proposing with a ring hidden in a drawer. Amal almost missed it, and after an awkward silence, he joked, "I'm 52 years old. My knee's going to give out soon." She said yes, and by September, they were married in Venice, Italy, surrounded by cameras and friends who believed this was Hollywood's fairy tale ending. For a while, it truly was. Clooney traded late nights for family life, and when their twins, Ella and Alexander, were born in 2017, he called it the greatest moment of his life. Together, they built a home in Provence, launched the Clooney Foundation for Justice, and became a symbol of glamour and intellect intertwined. But even the strongest partnerships can crack under time, ambition, and distance. By 2025, after more than a decade of marriage, the cracks began to show. Amal accepted a teaching position at Oxford, while George prepared for his long-awaited Broadway debut in Good Night and Good Luck. For the first time, they were not just emotionally distant, but living on separate continents. According to insiders, this wasn't just a typical separation for two busy professionals. It was a quiet, trial separation. Amal stayed in England with the children, surrounded by academia, while George spent long, lonely nights rehearsing in New York. "They've been drifting," one source said. "Not fighting, just fading." In public, they still smiled for cameras. George even told CBS Mornings in April 2025, "We still haven't found anything to fight about." But experts suggested that kind of harmony can sometimes mask silence, a lack of emotional connection. Amal's world was full of lectures and casework. George's, of late-night rehearsals and quiet regret. The age gap that once seemed charming began to feel like a distance neither could bridge. Then came the breaking point. In June 2025, Clooney attended the Tony Awards with Amal, and though they appeared flawless, the night ended differently. After years of restraint, George let loose, drinking heavily and later joking about it in Esquire. The public laughed. Amal didn't. For her, it wasn't about one night. It was a symbol of backsliding, of returning to an old version of him she thought he'd left behind. When she confronted him, she made it clear that his drinking wasn't something she'd overlook. Those words cut deep. The weeks that followed were tense and quiet. They retreated to their estate in Provence, hoping to reconnect. But the silence only magnified the distance. Amal immersed herself in work. George wandered through vineyards, rehearsing lines and reminiscing. By spring, tabloids began whispering about a trial separation. Amal remained in England, George in New York. They tried to stay close through daily video calls with the twins, but the distance, emotional and physical, grew heavier. And yet, when the rumors reached their peak, The couple appeared arm in arm at the Venice Film Festival in August 2025, smiling beneath the flash of cameras. To the world, they looked untouchable again. But those close to them said the smiles were rehearsed. Sometimes what looks like peace, a friend said, is just quiet sadness. Later that year, Amal broke her silence in an interview with Glamour. When asked about George, she said, "I have a partner in life who's so supportive of what I do. When I became a mom, he was the first to say, 'You've got this speech at the Security Council. I'll take care of the kids.'" Her words quieted the rumors but carried a faint ache, gratitude mixed with distance. When George later reflected on their marriage, he said quietly, "Marriage isn't about staying the same. It's about holding on when everything around you changes. And when you change, too." He didn't confirm a split, nor deny it. He only admitted that sometimes you can sit across from the person you love and feel miles away. And when that happens, it's not anger you feel, it's grief. Those who knew him said it was his quiet confession that something sacred had faded. By late 2025, George and Amal seemed to live parallel lives. She in England with the twins, teaching law and managing her foundation. He in Provence, directing, performing, and reflecting. Friends said it wasn't anger that separated them, but acceptance. They love their kids deeply, one insider said, but they've realized they just can't live the same kind of life anymore. George, now 64, often reflected on time. The lines on his face, the ache in his knees, the distance from the man he once was. Amal remained radiant and driven, always moving forward. "I used to be the one running ahead," George joked. "Now she is, and I'm just trying to keep up." He often walked through their olive groves with a glass of wine, remembering simpler days, the night he proposed, the laughter that used to fill their home. "I think I just wanted to prove I could be someone's forever," he once said. But forever is harder than I thought. Still, moments of grace remained. The twins' laughter, Amal's calls, quiet gestures of care. Whether they're rebuilding privately or quietly letting go, no one truly knows. But perhaps their story isn't about endings at all. It's about what it costs to hold on to love when fame, ambition, and time slowly pull it apart. Do you think love can survive after everything they've been through? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Untold Hollywood stories.